is the secret? What is the secret to being able to fish a buzzbait very easily, and also to keep a spinnerbait up where you can keep it up close to the top of the water? What do you need to remember to be able to do that? What do you need to learn how to do to be able to do that and catch fish that way? Whoa! That's a beauty. Good morning, guys and girls. October 13, almost the middle of this month already. My goodness, my goodness. Summertime is hanging around, but it's getting much more comfortable here in Oklahoma. We finally may have got rid of the 90s. I'm not sure. We're looking at Matthew 16:18. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the Catch of the Day channel, hit that subscribe button right now. We want to try to get this up to 20,000 by the end of the year, this channel. 20,000 by the end of the year. So share. Share with everybody in your church. Share with all your friends, everybody on your Facebook page, everybody that you know of. Share and let's get this thing up to 20,000. Before we start on that new Catch of the Day devotional called Catch a Better Life, we'll start on that devotional January 1. So we want to have at least 20,000 people in here, at least 20,000. Matthew 16:18 says, this is Jesus talking, red letters, "On this rock I will build my church. On this rock I will build my church, and the power of death will not be able to defeat it." What an incredibly great scripture. Smallmouth fishing in the Great Lakes and upper Northeast can get really easy if you can locate isolated rocks. A decent-sized rock will hold a smallmouth or two or three or four under just about any type of conditions. Good Polaroid sunglasses, Jimmy Houston sunglasses, good polarized sunglasses are a must for fishing. You've got to find those rocks. You got to be able to see them under the water. When you do, throw your bait over there and you're gonna be hooked up. Try to fish the shady or the undercut side of the rock if possible. The shady side or the undercut side. The undercut side is be on the outside where you have a current coming around and it washes out a little bit under the rock. The smallmouth will get down there and lay in those areas. In this scripture, when Jesus told Peter he would build his church on a rock, he wasn't calling Peter that rock. Now, a lot of people think that's what he was doing. He was calling Peter that rock that he would build his church on. Even though the name Peter does mean rock, the rock that Jesus would build on was his death, Jesus' death, Jesus' burial, and Jesus' resurrection. Jesus' resurrection to conquer sin. When Jesus walked out of that grave alive, that's the rock that he was talking about. The church is not made up of buildings, but it's made up of people that believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ, that believe that Jesus died for their sins, that believe that Jesus was crucified, buried, and walked out of that grave. A dead man walked out of that grave alive and well, conquering death. And on that rock, Jesus is going to build his church. Without that rock of Jesus' resurrection from death, there wouldn't be a church. We wouldn't even have a church. Is Jesus building in you? This is the critical sentence in today's devotion. Is Jesus building in you, or are you just warming a pew in church? Your relationship, your life should be building all the time. It should be getting better and better. Your relationship should be getting tighter and tighter. Jesus should be becoming a closer and closer friend. Doesn't matter if you've got perfect attendance at the church that you go to forever. You're just warming a pew unless Jesus is building in you. Gosh, that's a great devotion. I love it. Okay, here's our tip for this week. And it talks about fishing a buzzbait, which you got to keep up on top of the water. If you throw a buzzbait out and let it sink, by the time you get it up, you missed a lot of great fishing water. Same thing on a spinnerbait. If you let it sink and you want to buzz that thing and ripple it on top of the water, you've missed a lot of great fishing water. So you want to learn to engage your reel on a buzzbait or spinnerbait the instant the lure hits the water. The instant the lure hits the water. So if you're casting right-handed and you're putting your reel in your left hand, which I do a lot, if you're doing that, you want to, as you throw out there, as your bait is in the air, change over to your left hand. As soon as it hits the water, engage that reel. You're casting left-handed, same deal. As soon as it hits the water, engage the reel. Do not let your buzzbait sink down in the water. Do not let your spinnerbait sink down in the water. keep it up on top. Because if you let it sink a foot or so, 6 or 8 inches or so, 2 foot, by the time you get it back up on top, you've missed several feet of water, depending on how far you've let it down. Very, very critical. In fishing on smallmouth like we're talking about, most of the time we catch those smallmouth when we catch them on spinnerbait, buzzing the spinnerbait right on top of the water. If you let that thing get down a foot or 2 foot under the water before you get that reel engaged, by the time you've got it up back on top where it needs to be, you perhaps pull by a fish or two that might have bitten it. Because when that bait hits the water, a lot of times it gets those fish attention. When you hit and it starts going up on top of the water, they'll run up there and grab it. And that first foot or two, a lot of times, is where you get the strikes, particularly on those smallmouth that we're talking about in this particular day's scripture. So, guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. Fantastic time of the year, the fall of the year. The fish are biting, but they're transitioning. They're scattering out. They're moving around. They can become difficult, but the good thing about them getting scattered out is they're in a lot more places. A lot more places have fish in them that did not have fish in them just a couple of weeks ago. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I sure do love you.